Okay, so today we are going to be doing a book tag. I had a plan to do a certain book tag, and then when I was preparing for this video last night, I went over the questions, and this is kind of how it went. I can't answer that one. I don't have an answer for that one. I don't even know where I'd begin with that one. I just don't even have an answer for that one. As you can tell, it was going incredibly well. And I just kept thinking, I hope I find something to replace it. And then, you guys, about half an hour or so ago before I started this video, I watched Nikki do the Reader Problems book tag. So, hello Nikki, and thank you so much. My dear friend Nikki from Nikki's Books, I'll leave her channel in a link in the description. Go ahead and check her out. She's just a lot of fun. I always enjoy watching her videos, and she does tags every single Tuesday. So if you love your book tags, check out Nikki. She's wonderful. So she did the Reader Problems book tag, and this just sounded like it was so much more up my alley and like so much fun. It's almost like a reader confessions tag in a way. So let's see how we go. Let's jump right into the prompts. Prompt number 1. You have 20,000 books on your TBR. I do? Okay. How in the world do you decide what to read next? Well, I don't know if I exactly have 20,000 books on my TBR. That would be something. Then I would literally be buried under my books. I have goals that I try to fit into each TBR. So I like to read one classic a month, so I will select one of those. I like to read a Brandon Sanderson book every month. At the moment, I'm reading Goosebumps books, so I add them onto my TBR as well. And then it comes down to, is the month being celebrated for any type of holiday? For example, October is usually seen as the Halloween scary month, so I put scary books on for that particular month. But otherwise, there's no real rhyme or reason for me, honestly. I have books on me and I want to make sure that I read them, so I map out my TBRs. Prompt number 2. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? I think it really depends on the situation. So, just to bring you up to speed, in 2020, in the month of April for 2020, I committed myself to this overwhelming goal, which was to read The Hobbit and the first 3 books in the Lord of the Rings series, and I gave them all immunity. In other words, no matter how I felt about any of the books, I could not DNF them. Imagine how I felt when I got to the end of chapter 2 of just The Hobbit alone and I was not enjoying it, if I said to say that I have never given books immunity again since then. In saying that, if I am doing a buddy read with someone, I personally just feel more obliged to get through it because it's a buddy read. But aside from that, if I'm not enjoying a book, I will gladly DNF it. But I think that there are a couple of different situations that might stop me. For example, if it's a really easy read, or if I'm only 100 pages away from being done, if there's little things that I can just say to myself to get through it, I will. But if I'm really not enjoying it, and especially if it's early on in the book and I'm not enjoying it, I'll be more likely to DNF it because I don't want to keep reading something that I'm not enjoying. Prompt number 3. The end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? It's really funny because I actually have surpassed my Goodreads reading challenge twice now. So I set a goal earlier this year, I passed that goal, so then I set another goal, I passed that one, and now I'm getting closer to passing my 3rd goal, which was to read the same amount of books that I read last year, which was 125 books. I'm getting really close to surpassing that goal as well, so I'm not really in that situation, and last year was the first time that I started a booktube channel, so I wasn't thinking so much about needing to rush to reach any sort of goal. I think if anything, I set the bar really low when I first began. In fact, in one of the very first videos that I did on my channel, which was first or second video, I had the goal to read 12 books for the year, just making it out to be, averaging it out to be 1 book per month. and I got through that goal within the first 2 months. So I'm always adjusting my goal because I'm always exceeding it. So this is not a problem that I frequently encounter. Prompt number 4, the cover of a series you love do not match. The covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? I'm just looking around to see if I can find any covers in series that don't match, but they all tend to match for me. So I can't say much. I will say with the Cosmere timeline, I've said this many times, so this is not new, but I prefer the American editions to the UK ones, which are the white ones you see at the edge of the frame here. So I do feel that this doesn't look as cohesive because you have all these beautiful, epic fantasy color books, colorful editions over here. And then you just have these white ones that are coming from out of nowhere. So I would prefer for it to be more cohesive. And I am thinking next year of upgrading my Elantris, edition and potentially Warbreaker, but I think just Elantris to the US edition. But otherwise, I don't really encounter this problem. If I did, I think it would annoy me because I do like cohesion with my series. Prompt number 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? You guys. Look, it's been great to have a booktube channel and to talk about the unpopular opinions, because there are times where I really do think I stand alone with certain things, like the Lord of the Rings series, and then there are times where you guys get back to me and say, oh, thank goodness you've said that you don't like it either, because I don't either. You know, so that's been really good. Most of the people that I talk to don't read as much as I do, so we don't really have book conversations, but it would be great if we could. But, yeah, can't really say much to that other than I love talking about it in my videos and chatting with you guys in the comments here and also over on the Discord as well. That's been a lot of fun. Prompt number 6, you're reading a book and you are about to start crying in public. How do you deal? First of all, I can't currently read in public because I would find it way too distressing for myself and needing to be out there with a mask on and just trying to read, and it would just be awful. And have you ever noticed when you wear a mask and you have sunglasses on that the sunglasses fog up? I mean, it just wouldn't work for me. But yeah, I used to read in public when I was able to. And I didn't cry. I got angry. I remember reading The Final Empire on a work break, and I was out in public, sitting down on a bench, and a scene came up that was so incredibly emotional, and I literally read it moments before I had to go back into work, which was a customer service role, so I had to snap myself out of the funk that I just landed in. But I haven't cried reading a book in public. If I did, I would deal with it. I don't know. Prompt number 7. A sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book? Had you asked me this last year, I would have said no. Asking me this in 2021, my answer is definitely yes, and I have done that. Yeah, I have no issues going back and rereading if I've forgotten. I mean, when you read as many books as we do, or if you read as many as I do, you know, about over 100 a year, it makes sense that you're not always going to remember every single thing. Sometimes you'll remember most of the significant details, and sometimes you just won't. So it's a good idea to refresh and go back and reread that book 1 before jumping into the new book 2, or book 2 before book 3, or whatever. But yeah, I'm not opposed to it, not at all. Prompt number 8. You do not want anyone, capital letters, borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people nope when they ask? Oh, very easily. I say, I'm sorry, I'm currently reading that. That's my way of dealing with it. Like, oh, can I borrow that? Oh, I'm so sorry, I wish you could, but I'm actually currently reading it. But I can point you in the right direction. Because that's the thing, I don't like loaning out my books. I've done it in the past, and either they've gotten damaged, or they haven't been returned, or other things that have really annoyed me to the point that I've learned that lesson. However, I do still want people to read. I wish everyone would read every single day. So if someone's saying they like a book that I have, I will point them in the right direction so that they can acquire a copy of it themselves, whether that is through Amazon, because with COVID we can't really go shopping right now in Melbourne, but anyway, or a local bookstore, or even through their own library getting a copy of it. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would say I'm currently reading it at the moment, but I can show you where you can get a copy right this way. Come with me. And kind of move away from my bookshelves. Prompt number 9, reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? Okay, so to translate that into terminology that I would use, basically it's saying you've picked up 5 books, and the last 5 books you've picked up, you've DNF'd. How do you deal with that? And I haven't been there, so I don't know. But honestly, I think if I DNF'd 3 books in a row, I would already start feeling a bit worried that I'd be going into a slump. So what I would do is I'd pick up a book that I know I love. So if I'm wanting something middle grade-ish, I'll just pick up Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, because I know that would get me in a good mood right away. Maybe even The Final Empire if I want something adult by Brandon Sanderson. Or a classic I love. Winnie the Pooh is a good book to read because it's fun. So that's kind of the way I do it. I would pick up a book that I know I love, that there's no chance I'm going to DNF, and that I'll just enjoy reading, and that will just flip the switch for me and get me re-going. Prompt number 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? Well, if we're going off of new releases in 2021, all of them. I did a video in December of 2020 talking about my most anticipated 2021 new release books, and I've purchased all of them. I haven't read all of them, but I am incredibly close. Actually, that's not true. There's one book that I did not end up purchasing, and it's purely because I forgot about it, and that is Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. But I did get another book that is a Bridget Kemmerer book that will appear at some point soon. But yeah, otherwise I picked up every single book, including the Phil Stamper books I was talking about As Far As You'll Take Me for the majority of the end of 2020. And so I definitely purchased that, and all the other ones that I was eagerly anticipating, like this one, The Woman Outside My Door, made it into that video. So yeah, I did pick up all of those. I don't necessarily need to read new releases, but if there are new releases that I'm excited about, yeah, I'm going to want to get them. So I did. Prompt number 11. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? So I actually wanted to space out my new releases because I knew that if I didn't, that I would just read them all in 1 month and it would be done. But I wanted to space them out so I could enjoy them throughout the space of the year. So basically my goal was to try and put 1 new release per month on my TBR. It wasn't a goal that I had in a video or anything like that. It was just a goal that I had for myself outside of videos. But yeah, and the great news is that while I don't have a new release, I'm just looking at my TBRs behind the camera. While I don't have a new release for October, I do have a new release that I'm reading in November. I have 2. My October TBR's over there, my November TBR's up there. I have 2 new releases that I'm reading in November, and then I'm going to wrap up reading all of the new releases I plan to read this year, and then do a video on that. So I'm excited for that. And that is the end of the book tag. Oh, wonderful. Well, that was a lot more fun than my other tag was going to be. Which, by the way, for those of you who are wondering, it was not a tag that I did, because if it was, I would have been able to answer the questions. But it was a tag that was to do with scary, spooky, Halloween type thing, and it just wasn't working for me at all. I couldn't answer any of them. But, okay, who do I tag? I mean, quite frankly, I tag anyone who wants to do it. I tag Jessica from Lady Lovestead Reads, Stormy from Stormy Reads, Nikki from Nikki's Books, although she's already done it. I tag the booktube channel An Erudite Adventure, I believe is their name. Yes, An Erudite Adventure. How to Train Your Gavin, Michelle from Books Michelle, and anyone else who wants to do this tag. Murphy from booktube channel Murphy Napier, Daniel from booktube channel Daniel Green, Elliot from booktube channel Elliot Brooks. If you want to do this, please do this. I really should just end book tags that I do by saying, who do I tag? Everyone, the end. If you want to do it, please do it. I think it'll be great. This was a fun one for me, so I hope it'll be fun for you. Alright, you guys, that is where I am going to leave it. I hope you guys are having an amazing October, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading!